Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Auditor General Committee meeting of Thursday, October 9th, 2025. This meeting is being held in person and by electronic means. Committee members and the public may participate by either method. Any voting members joining electronically are reminded to enable their video to confirm quorum. And I do note we have a couple of members online today and a couple in chambers. This meeting is being live streamed on the city's website, on YouTube, and meeting progress will be updated regularly on X at Van City Clerk. We acknowledge that we are on the unceded homelands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people. We thank them for having cared for this land and look forward to working with them in partnership as we continue to build this great city together. I also want to recognize the immense contributions of the City of Vancouver's team members and the hard work they do every day to make our city an incredible place to live, work, and play. Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Councillor Dominato is in the chair. Councillor Kirby-Young.
Present.
Councillor Klassen has a leave of absence for personal reasons all day. Councillor Montague.
Sorry, present.
Thank you. Councillor Joe.
Present.
And Councillor Fry. External Representative Archie G. Johnston.
Present.
Thank you. And External Representative Sophia Tsui.
Present.
You have quorum, Chair Dominato.
Thank you, clerks, and good morning, everyone. I do want to start. We have only one item on the agenda today, and that is the Office of the Auditor General 2026 budget request. Before we start this item, can I just check in to see if we have any conflicts of interest? Okay, hearing none. I'll invite a presentation from our Auditor General, roughly 12 slides. Welcome, Mike, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Chair Dominato. Good morning, Auditor General Committee members. Just a reminder, my office's budget process is prescribed by the Auditor General bylaw, which requires me to present a budget request to this committee for consideration. The committee in turn is required to recommend an appropriation for my office to council. Accordingly, today I'm presenting a budget request with two scenarios for you to consider. Next slide, please. I'll start with a report on my office's projected expenditures for 2025 compared to the council-approved budget for the year. I anticipate a slight overspend on salaries due to maternity leave coverage, balanced against modest savings against budget for contracted services and support costs. So overall, I expect to come in very close to budget, although certainly not over. Slide, please. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to speak to contracted services as they represent a unique component of my budget. Canadian audit standards, the framework my office follows in accordance with our operating license from the Chartered Professional Accountants of British Columbia, requires the application of appropriate subject matter expertise for each audit we conduct. I employ a group of generalists, so the requirement for subject matter expertise is met through contractors. For some work, such as cybersecurity, much of our detailed testing is in fact conducted by these contracted specialists. But for every audit, subject matter experts are retained to provide advice as we plan and conduct our work and interpret and report the results to you. Every year, my budget request includes an allowance to contract subject matter expertise to support my audit teams under the proviso that if the funds aren't needed, they won't be spent. I've fulfilled this commitment every year. This year, I've reduced this request by 35%. It will impact the type of work we can do, but will still allow us to continue productively and in compliance with audit standards. I ask for an allowance in this area because it's not possible to know the exact type of expertise for an audit or its cost in advance. There are two reasons for this. First, while I have an audit program which indicates the topics I intend to look at, the plan can, has, and will change as priorities change. And second, even if my office's work schedule exactly followed the plan, the nature of expertise required and any individual audit isn't known until we determine the scope of work and understand the expertise required. Along with the professional audit standards we follow, applying appropriate subject matter expertise is the foundation on which the credibility of our work rests. I hope you'll continue to support this approach since I know of no better way to conduct the work required to fulfill my mandate. Next slide, please. For 2025, I'm presenting you with two alternatives. Alternative A is a request for a total budget of $2,508,000 to fund the operations of the Office of the Auditor General in 2026. This represents a decrease of 1% from the 2025 budget, consistent with the motion that was approved by Council yesterday. It was achieved primarily through a reduction of contracted services, as I explained in the previous slide, but also with reductions in training and support costs. Next slide, please. Alternative A is the baseline for Alternative B, the request shown here. The only difference between alternatives A and B is the cost for one senior auditor to replace the capacity that I've had to apply to the new whistleblowing function. Whistleblowing is consuming more of my team's time than I had anticipated at the expense of my performance audit program. The addition of this FTE, full-time equivalent, would fill this deficit. In Alternative B, I'm requesting a total budget of $2,681,900 to fund the operations of the Office of the Auditor General in 2026. This represents an increase of $148,900 or 5.9% over the current year. Slide, please. Thank you. Diving a little deeper, the budget alternatives I've just presented are identical in all respects, save for the addition of one senior auditor. They were achieved by deferring contractor-heavy audits, cybersecurity in particular, resulting in a reduction of subject matter expert contractors by $63,000, plus an additional reduction of $18,000 for other contracted services. The training budget has been cut in half to $8,000. I've eliminated conference and related travel expenses and made other smaller administrative reductions totaling $9,500. Yielding a total reduction of $98,500 or 4% of the 2025 budget. These reductions are common to both alternatives. Also common to both alternatives are wage adjustments for existing staff of $73,500. These increases are in line with the compensation plan for other city-excluded staff and are non-discretionary. Combined, the cost savings and wage adjustments yield an overall net reduction of $25,000. Slide, please. The last thing I'd like to leave you with is a reminder about the value add that my team strives for. In the last year's annual report, we estimated a return of $3.28 for every dollar invested in my office since day one. $3.67 of startup costs are removed, with a longer-term estimated total return to the city of $78 million. While very much an estimate, nonetheless, this demonstrates the potential for significant benefit to the city. In other words, the monies invested in my office to date have been well spent. And while this doesn't provide me with unlimited license to spend, I hope it suggests that my modest budget request is worthy of your support. Clearly, I'm hoping you'll recommend Alternative B to Council. So, slide, please. To recap, this is Alternative A, representing an overall budget reduction of 1%. Next slide, please. However, I'm asking you to consider Alternative B, which is identical to Alternative A, save for the addition of one senior auditor to compensate for the workload associated with my office, assuming the city's whistleblower mandate. Slide, please. So I have two recommendations for you to consider. Alternative A, that the Auditor General Committee endorse the Auditor General's budget request of $2,508,000 to fund the operations of the Office of the Auditor General for 2026. Further, that the endorsement be recommended to Council for approval. And the next slide, please. Alternative B, which is identical wording, save for a different figure, $2,681,900. Happy to take any questions the committee may have at this time.
Thank you for that presentation. Questions, committee members? Please put yourselves on the queue if you have questions. I'm seeing no questions. Okay. Well, in that case, if there's no questions, could I get someone to move a recommendation? Oh yeah, Archie, sorry, because I realized Archie's on the phone today. Archie, do you have any questions?
No, I think the plan that Mike is referring to and his plan to be as cost conscious as possible, I think is prudent. His decision to defer certain projects, if necessary, I think is also good. So I I don't really have any questions. I agree with the plan that he had presented to us earlier.
Thank you, Archie. I appreciate that. Councillor
Can
Zhou,
I,
I'll advance you.
Chair, point of privilege, can you put me on the queue, please? I had a computer upgrade and my panel's not doing all it should do.
Yes, absolutely, Vice Chair. We will do that. Yeah.
Okay,
Brad.
thanks, Chair.
Go ahead, Councillor Zhou.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. So I'll just ask a question to the Auditor General. So what will be the impact without adding this one senior auditor?
A fair question. Thank you, Councillor Joe. It will just mean that the audit work that is ongoing will take longer. So it'll be a lower level of productivity for the office.
Okay, so are we talking about a specific project or in general? Everything?
Just in general, it'll push timelines back.
Okay. Are there any, long-term consequence? For instance, we are under a huge budget pressure right now. So if we hire this additional staff, maybe next year, would that, making the situation better?
Well, what we have is a person who is familiar with our work, who can literally hit the ground running. So there isn't a learning curve of bringing somebody new in. And so, this is a superior alternative. Again, getting back to the value add of the office, there's projects I would like to do that, could yield cost savings. I'd sooner have those come forward sooner than later.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Zhou. Vice Chair Kirby-Yung. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Chair. I'm prepared to move the original recommendation in the report.
Okay, can I get a seconder, please? I'll second that. Or Councillor Montague? I heard Councillor Montague second. Okay, so recommendation alternative A is moved and seconded. Any discussion? Well, I'll just add myself to the queue, maybe just for a brief comment. Do I have to cede the chair to the Vice Chair? Vice Chair, do you think I could just cede the chair to you?
Yes, Chair, go ahead, please.
Okay. I'll just keep my comments brief, just to reflect that in terms of my experience with the office, I think it's incredibly valuable. I think we've seen that value add in terms of the reports that we've had come back to council, and I think in driving strategic change for the organization. And I think that's a real positive. The whistleblower function, I know, is still fairly new and evolving, and what that looks like and processes. I did appreciate and do appreciate Mike, as Auditor General, you coming in today and acknowledging that what you presented as Alternative A is reflective and aligns with the direction Council has given just yesterday around zero property tax increase. And so I'll leave my comments there, see if anyone else has other comments, but I'm prepared to support the recommendation that's been moved. And if there are no other members with comments, we'll go to the vote, and I'll ask you to vote online.
I'm sorry, I'm having issues with my panel as well. If I could get a vote assist in favor.
Yes, we can do that.
And also a vote assist in favor, please. Thank you.
Okay, and likewise, a vote assist in favor for myself, please. Okay, thank you. All votes are in, and that recommendation passes unanimously. Thank you to the committee members, and thank you to our Auditor General. I think I'll just need a motion to adjourn at this time. Moved?
Second.
Seconded? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? And that carries. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, clerks. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Oh, they're gone now, the other councillors.